Hi there, friends. It's Carrie from Stamp with CT. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Happy Facebook Live Day. If you are watching on YouTube, thank you so much. And if you're catching this part of the video, you're probably catching the replay. Wait just a minute for some people to be able to hop on live. So whether you're here live with me or watching the replay, so glad you're here. Have a couple of fun projects for you today. We're just going to spend some time crafting and connecting. Good morning, Lisa. Hi, Judy. It's a chilly day here. I meant to look to see how cold it got last night. I think down in the low 30s. Such crazy weather. Good morning. Well, we're going to jump right in and get started. Let me know how you guys are doing. So glad that some of you can join me live. And again, if you're watching the replay, I appreciate that as well. I'm going to spend a few minutes to craft and connect, and I have some information for you. So super excited to be with you this morning. Let's start first by talking a little bit about an awesome promotion that is going on from Stampin' Up. It's called Savings Are in Bloom, and it is an amazing sale that offers 20% off on our mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So this image comes from our annual catalog, and it's on page 152. If you're not familiar with our die cutting machines, we do have two that we offer: the regular size Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and then the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I like to call it the Mini Boss. It is super cute, just a smaller version of our regular size die cutting and embossing machine. So you can actually save 20% on this mini machine right now, which I think is awesome. It's regularly $60, and so with 20% off, it's $48. Great deal. It's a great little machine to have in your craft room or even on the go. If you like to go to crops or, go with other friends to their house, you're traveling with your die cut machine. It's a much lighter machine and super portable. So super excited about this promotion. And also the fact that Stampin' Up! Is offering a 20% discount on several stamp die bundles that work really well with this little machine. So not all of our dies fit in the mini machine because it is about a 3-inch wide cutting surface, but a lot of them do. So if you look in the catalog, there's an icon by the dies that do work with the mini machine. And if you ever have any questions, you can let me know. I'm glad to help you with that. But today we're going to be using one of these sets that's on sale for 20% off. And it's called All Squared Away. Now this little stamp set, I think, is easy to overlook in our annual catalog. This is one that really spoke to me and was one of my first purchases when the annual catalog came out last year. It's a super cute little set with sweet sentiments that have a beautiful font. And then you've got these little background stamps as well. This is, I think, the very last stamp in our catalog in the stamp section, the annual catalog. And then, of course, it has the dies that coordinate. So you normally save 10% when you purchase this as a bundle. But right now it's on sale, 20% off. And it's just a really cute little set. This die set would actually be one if you already have a lot of floral images. You could use this along with other floral stamp sets that you have. You wouldn't necessarily have to have the stamp set, but I love it a lot. So these little dies make it so easy to create some beautiful cards. We're going to make two today featuring these dies. And I just went ahead and grabbed some little 3x3 note cards that we made last year, and I think that these may have been for bingo. I can't remember, but they're so cute and quick to make, just featuring those dies. So aren't they fun? So all of these would fit through our mini machine, and just make some cute, cute little cards. Now these samples feature the, 2021 to 2023 in colors. So you have Evening Evergreen for the greenery, then Soft Succulent, Pale Papaya, Fresh Freesia, and Polished Pink. Now what are in colors? Each year Stampin' Up! Introduces 5 new colors to freshen up our color collections. And so this is the color collection, the in color collection that was introduced last year. We have a collection that was introduced almost 2 years ago, so those will be retiring soon. That's what we're going to be using today to create our projects. So I actually posted yesterday on this Facebook page, which of the in colors are you going to miss the most? So I've got 3 of them on this card. We've got Magenta Madness, which is the pink. We've got Bumblebee, and then also just Jade. And we'll be using Cinnamon Cider and Misty Moonlight on our second card. So those are the colors that will be retiring soon. Now, they are only in our catalog for 2 years, and the sad thing about it is we have to let them retire and say goodbye to them, but we'll get 5 new in colors to freshen up our crafting. So that's exciting. So if you are interested in these products, I really recommend purchasing them now. So if you need a re-inker to really preserve the life of your ink pad, if you need to stock up on cardstock or embellishments, now would be the time. Stampin' Up! Will be announcing the retirement list, I think the end of this month, but these are products that fly out of the store when they're announced to be retiring. So if it's something that you want, now would be the time to grab those. Okay, let's work on this little project. I'm starting with a thick basic white cardstock card base, and it's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then we've got a piece of basic black cardstock that's going to mat there on the front. And then I've got a piece of Bumblebee. Bumblebee is a really pretty yellow. I've run it through this awesome embossing folder, Tasteful Textiles. This is one, and I don't know that it'll pick up a lot on camera, but it just gives a little bit of texture, a little bit more interest to your project. It's one that I use all the time. So I'm really into using embossing folders again, y'all. I'm gonna be using 2 today. So let's go ahead and also grab, I went ahead and pulled out the In Color Designer Series paper stack, which is a 6 by 6 paper stack, and just cut a little strip of this Magenta Madness. I just wanted to pull that little bit of Magenta Madness in. Whoop, come on, glue. Doesn't want to work this morning. Y'all know I'm bad about leaving them open. It's one of those do as I say, not as I do, right? Oh, come on. Let me get a different one. I actually have a couple bottles of glue up here. See if we have better luck with this other bottle. There we go. We've got some glue going now. Probably a bit much, but I'm gonna move this over. Oops. I don't know. It's got a little piece of glitter on it, y'all. I love shiny. Moving it over, what, about an inch, 3/4 of an inch to an inch over from the edge. That may be more than what I did on my sample card, but that's okay. I just want to get this lined up on this Bumblebee layer. And give that a chance to adhere. And then we'll mat that on the black, basic black. So my basic black is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And then this Bumblebee is 5 inches by 3 3/4. This matted up. One of the things I love too is that a lot of times our in colors work really, really well together, but they really do add different color combos when you combine them with the colors that are always available in the catalog. So that's how it really does freshen up our crafting. Okay, looks pretty good. So we've got a good base to work with now, and I'll set that aside and let that dry for a minute. And let's bring in some other supplies. We'll go ahead and do some stamping. Let me cover that glue up. And I pulled one of the sentiments, and it says, "You are so worthy." Worth celebrating. Sorry, so worth celebrating. And we'll ink this up with the black. And I want to bring this over to the side, to the right side here, because of how I'm positioning it on the card. So worth celebrating. You're worthy too. Okay, and that's going to go right across here. But let's get that other focal element ready. I've gone ahead and done some die cutting. So I've got this little black frame just cut from basic black cardstock. And then I used the Just Jade to cut that very same frame. I'm going to bring my paper snips in and snip away the flowers and the frame so that I just end up with the leaves and the stem. I just want to be able to add this to our card. I probably did that. Oh, I think it's going to be okay. Just a little bit futzy, but I think it looks really cute. Okay. So we'll bring that glue back in. And if I can find my pieces, we will add them. I'm going to just put a little bit of glue here on my frame. Add this piece. Told you it's a little bit futzy, but it's cute. And then we'll just add this little piece. And again, I want to put the glue on the black frame. Hopefully keep me from making quite as much of a mess. And I'm not going to worry about those little stems. I think they'll be okay if I get this lined up pretty good. They should lay pretty flat. Now, one of the cool things about the die set is that it does have the individual flowers as well. So I was actually able to die cut the flowers separately. And again, we'll just add a little bit of glue. And add those cute little flowers to our frame. So kind of like paper piecing, get that same effect. I love the way that it's on the black frame. Another little spot of glue. So you can see how this is just a really cute little focal image for our card. Okay, we'll let that dry for just a second. And then we're just going to mount that right onto this piece of Designer Series paper. And it came from the Pattern Party Designer Series paper stack, the one that is a host reward from the annual catalog. So kind of going back to the annual catalog today a little bit. Oops, almost made a boo-boo. Alrighty, let's just add another little bit of liquid glue on the back this time. You can see those flowers are just a little bit bigger. I think I got them lined up pretty good. Maybe not. It's going to work though. And I cut this little piece, I think I remember correctly. Yeah, I don't have my flower completely lined up well. I think it's maybe too late to move it over, but I'm going to leave it alone. We'll leave it alone. It's okay. I'm trying to remember, this little frame is probably about 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. All right, we'll let that dry for just a second, and we will add some dimensionals, of course. Pop that up on the front. And then to finish it off, we'll bring in some matte black dots. Even though it's a little bit wonky. Oops. I'm a fumble fingers today, y'all. Even though that's just a little bit wonky on my flower, I think it's okay. That will really help bring in, make that sentiment pop, I think, to add those black dots. I love yellow and black, and then you've got the little pop of color too with the Magenta Madness and the Just Jade. Let me find my dots, and we'll add a couple of them. Let's try one of the larger ones again down here at the bottom, and then a couple of smaller ones. We talked about this the other day. I was crafting with some friends, and we talked about it's just pleasing to the eye to use an odd number of embellishments, but you know, ultimately it's your project, so do what makes you happy, okay? Alrighty, our first project is done, and I think it turned out super cute. Aren't these in colors amazing? I'm really gonna miss them. Super cute. Let's do another one. This time we will focus on Cinnamon Cider and Misty Moonlight. So Cinnamon Cider is a beautiful brown, and then Misty Moonlight, such a pretty shade of blue. So let's recreate this card. Got our Cinnamon Cider card base. Same measurements, y'all. Kind of a creature of habit. 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And this time I do have that piece of basic white to add to the inside. I think you could probably write maybe with a Sharpie on this Cinnamon Cider, but I just like to add that inside panel. We'll get that in there. Let it dry for a second. And now let's bring in some other supplies. So this time I'm using an embossing folder called Bark. Now I've gone ahead and embossed this piece of basic white cardstock, and look how much it adds to that paper. So pretty. And I've got just a little strip, I think it's about 1/2 inch, of Misty Moonlight. I'm just going to come in and put a small bead of glue down the side. This is just meant to be a little accent. And then we'll add our basic white cardstock. Let's try that again. I just want a little border. Look, I'm struggling, y'all. I think it's stuck to my table. Must have sticky on my table. Just a little border with Misty Moonlight. Looks like I cut my Misty Moonlight just a little bit shy, but we're going to be okay with that. Well, let's try this again. A little bit more glue. I can make anything look difficult, y'all. Of course, now I have sticky fingers. Okay, one more time. Third time is the charm. Yeah, that's just a little bit shy, but I'm going to go with it. It's going to work. I just want that little border. And I'm going to get this thing on this card front before it gets me any more trouble. We'll glue it down. I just love what that bark embossing folder does to add some interest. Now I do add extra adhesive when I've used an embossing folder, just because not as much of the surface of the cardstock is meeting. So I want to make sure that it stays put. So a little bit more adhesive when you're using an embossed piece of paper. Okay. Let you dry for just a minute. And then I've got a couple pieces of white cardstock, and I noticed that I cut one a little bit smaller than the other, so I'm going to use that one for my stamping. And this time, the sentiment says, "Happiest of birthdays to you." Again, using my Memento Tuxedo Black. Isn't that a cute little font? And then I've got some pieces that I've cut. And this time, it's okay, Oliver, I'm just matting the frame. And I've got a couple of flowers that I cut. So on my sample, I just used one flower, but I'm gonna see what I think, how that's gonna look. Go ahead and put just a couple little dots of glue here. And then we'll add our flower on. I love Just Jade and Misty Moonlight together. So pretty. Now we're just going to mat this onto the white, and it's a little 2x2 square. That makes those colors really stand out. We will pop that on there. Okay, again, we're going to use some dimensionals for this little focal image. Let's get those on. And we'll add one more in the center. I'm going to take these backings off and then set this aside for just a minute. I want to add my stamp sentiment first. I'm just gluing it down to the card. Again, lots of glue because it's going on something that has been embossed. And then we can add our little focal image. And I want to overlap just a little bit. Let's find my placement there. I think that's better. Okay, let's bring in some embellishments to finish this off. So I've got Oliver fussing, and then I've got the train coming through, getting the whole shebang today. I think my neighbor is cutting something with a saw. Lots of background noise today. Sorry about that. You know, I always tell you it's real life crafting in this room. I'm going to add some embellishments, and of course I've got the absolutely amazing iridescent rhinestones. We're just going to sprinkle those onto our card. Of course, I want to put one of the larger ones in the center of the flower. Let's put a couple more down here toward the bottom. You can never have too much shiny, right? I don't think so. Then I pulled out the black glittered ribbon. This has been in our catalog a couple years now. And so of course I don't have any insight into what Stampin' Up! Will be retiring other than the in colors, but I would suspect that this could be going away because we've had it for a couple years now. And I love this ribbon so much. It comes in black and white, and it's just sparkly and glittery and so pretty to work with. Let's go ahead and trim those tails off. And I want to just add this bow at the top. I just think it really adds a little something to our project. And then we're going to be done, and I need to talk a little bit about stamp class while I find the end of my glue dots. Today is the deadline to register for stamp class, which will be on the 19th. We'll be using the Heart and Home Suite Collection in stamp class. So some really fun projects. So if you would like to be part of stamp class, you can hop over to CT's Craft and Connect group, and everyone can watch stamp class. But if you want to craft along with me and make the projects, you just need to register for class. And all you have to do for that is to place a minimum order, and you'll receive the kit free, or it's $20. So here's our projects, guys. So stamp class registration deadline is today, so be sure to message me if you're interested. And if you can't watch along with me that day, you can always catch the replay. I leave that content up and available, and I upload it to YouTube as well. So would love to have you join us for stamp class. We always have fun. We make at least 4 projects. Sometimes we do mystery stamping or this or that. Or sometimes I throw in an extra project like I did last month. We made 5 projects. Okay, so this is what I have for you today as far as using the All Squared Away bundle that coordinates perfectly with our mini Boss machine. I hope you love these cards. Sorry I made it a little bit more challenging than what I had to, but that's me. I hope you love these cards. Let me move them out of the way. and I'll bring in our giveaway for today. So if you will recall, we used the Waves of the Ocean collection that's an out of publication collection last week, and our giveaway was a 6x6 piece of the 2 different color blue and silver foil sheets. I'm trying to keep that from getting too shiny and not focusing the camera, but this is going out to our winner, Lisa Tweedle. Congratulations, Lisa. You're on a roll, girl. She won some ribbon last night at our team meeting, so congratulations, Lisa. Now, Lisa was entered for a chance to win by posting a comment, actually a couple comments, and I so appreciate that when you guys do that. So if you enjoy the content that I provide for you, I would love for you to like the video or comment, share it with your friends. That helps me, and it just lets me know that I'm on the right track in providing what you guys enjoy. So today's giveaway is some of the In Color Designer Series paper. So Misty Moonlight, Cinnamon Cider, Just Jade, Bumblebee, and Magenta Madness. So it's a half pack of that 6x6 In Color Designer Series paper. So be sure to leave those comments to enter for a chance to win, and I'll draw the winner next week. Let me know if you have any questions about our Savings Are in Bloom promotion or any of the supplies that I used today, and I hope that you'll join me again next week at 10 a.m. on Wednesday. We will probably pull out another bundle that's on sale and explore some creativity with that. Thank you. See you later.